God works for your good. God works for your good. He works for yours. I'm sure He works for yours. Because the way I look at you, I know that God is working for your good. Tell someone that God works for your good.
God works for your good.
Better. If you check in Bible times, you'll see different things happening. Like when the children of Israel were in exile or in bondage in Egypt, the original time defined by God was 400 years. But because of the mistake of Moses, the children of Israel stayed in Egypt for 430 years. And in all of this, you will discover that God was still working for their good. If you read in Numbers, I can't recall the chapter. No, not even in Numbers, in Genesis. God had said that He said that beforehand that you will stay in in Egypt for 400 years. But in Exodus, God says something when He was defining what will happen to the children of the people in Canaan. He said, for their affliction have not yet come to the point that God will punish them. So all the delays, all that Moses did was only to delay them so that those people will commit offenses that will measure up to God punishing them. And so He did that for a purpose. Joseph narrated the story, the dream, and they took him from his house to Potiphar's house, from Potiphar's house to prison, and from prison to glory. All of these, God was working for His good. And so if you look at other things and scenarios in the Bible, you discover that God does that purposely because He has something good for you. And all of this, God works for our good. And where we have read, I just want us to look at three things quickly, and we will close for the day. In verse 28, God calls us for a purpose. God calls us for a purpose. Verse 28. It says, and we know. Somebody cannot begin a statement with the word "and." It's a conjunction, right? And so you cannot begin a statement with that. There must be a succeeding statement. So Paul knew all of this. If you go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 9 and 10, you discover what Paul says by introducing this word "and." Because there he says that God, he said, no eye has seen, no mind has conceived what God, he said, even no ear has heard, and no mind has conceived what God has designed for His children. And verse 10, he said, but for us, He has exposed that, revealed that through the Holy Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. Meaning that when the Spirit reveals those things, we are able to know. And that is why Paul, coming to this place, he said, and we know why the Spirit has revealed. So Paul says that, and we know that in all things, he didn't say in some things. Paul didn't say in some good things. He says in what? All things. And all things means what? All things. When you say all things, it's all things. There is no difference. It's not neither saying the good nor the bad. All things. Those things you see that looks like bad, to Paul, there are all things. And so he says, but we know, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of them, or good of those who love Him, who are called according to his purpose. So Paul is telling the Roman church that first you need to know that whatever thing that is happening to you is not happening by accident. Everything is carefully orchestrated by God himself. So he understands